So good evening, my lovely yogis. And just as always, starting on the mat wherever you are most comfortable this evening, if it's lying down or seated. Just thinking about how your body feels, how your day has been. And we'll just have a few moments just to become quiet and settle into our yogic space. So if you've had a busy day or there's lots on your mind, this is that time now just to calm everything. Take some deep breaths. And we can put all those thoughts outside of the room, just for an hour. And as we start to follow our breath, we can tune into the sensations that we feel throughout our body. Awareness of any little aches and pains that we need to be gentle with. But also noticing what feels good, what we don't notice, where there's some space in our body. So as you have a few breaths here, just feeling the belly rise and fall and the chest rise and fall. And the movement into the back of our body. And perhaps the mind is starting to slow down. What do you need from your practice this evening? Just inquire within whether it's a physical stretch, whether it's just me time. Perhaps you're drawn to how it really quietens your mind and you connect with something kind of greater than ourselves. And often it's all of it, the way it makes us feel at the end of our practice. It's almost like a feeling of coming back to ourselves, where everything throughout our day tries to disperse us or numb us in some way. So with that, we'll start with our meditation. If you're lying down, just have a few moments to draw the knees in, have a little rock. And then if you're already seated and you just need to just gently move and get a little bit more comfortable, then we'll sit for about 5 minutes. Today we'll do mindfulness of breath. So that lovely practice where we drop through the 4 stages, counting the exhale 1 to 10 to start with. Swapping round, counting the inhale 1 to 10. It always feels really different when we change that awareness. Then we drop the counting, and then finally, by that stage, everything has sort of shifted and we're very much coming to an awareness of the breath, being mindful of the breath. So get comfortable. Just rest your hands in Dhyana Mudra. Relax your shoulders. Just let the eyelids drop, soften through your face. And just enjoy this quiet time to yourself. So we'll count the out breath, 1 to 10. And no need to rush. Take the nice long breath. After 10 out breaths, just switch to the inhale, counting. After 10 inhalations and the count, just relax the counting altogether. Following your breath still. And now just tuning in even more, becoming extremely mindful of the breath. From the nostrils, all the parts of the body that move. And then we'll just take one more breath here together. Gently coming back out of our practice. And it's always just nice to notice how you feel now from 5 minutes ago when we started that. Any sort of slight observances that you feel. Okay, so the first pose we're going to come into is mantis. Now this pose does bring our head down low, so I know I'm going to offer you an alternative. If you would prefer, come into butterfly. Otherwise, mantis is with the head low. So just depending on how that feels for you this evening. And if you know that this will not suit you, just choosing another pose that will work for you. And I'm always happy that if anything I offer doesn't feel right, just choosing something that does feel right. If you need a little cushion under the belly and chest, that's sometimes nice, just to take the pressure off. And trying to relax through the arms. Whatever pose you've chosen, just relaxing. And if you are in mantis, you're going to feel this around the top of the legs, the hip flexors. Stretch around the knees and the tops of the feet. It's a lovely one for your stomach meridian. Relaxing your arms and between your shoulder blades. And if you're in butterfly, just awareness of the inner thighs, hips. If at any time you need to come out of this pose, you can always exit. Notice if you can relax a little bit more through your shoulders and whether the chest drops a little bit more. Relaxing any tightness in your abdomen. So how does this pose feel this evening? How does it feel around your upper back between the shoulder blades? Notice if your breath is slow or rapid. Every now and then, just checking in with whether you've tensed up through the upper back. And then we'll just take a few more breaths. When you're ready, slowly, slowly lift the head. Draw your arms back. Maybe pause for a moment so that we're aware of any dizziness. Just coming out of these poses, really slowly lifting up. Also enjoying that feeling that you get through your upper back. And then we'll just take ourselves onto our back into Shavasana. So if there is any little bit of dizziness, we can just take a moment to settle. So lying down slowly. Take a nice sigh. Checking in through your body, what you're feeling, where you're feeling it. Probably starting to feel some tingling on the feet and the tops of our legs. Very stimulating on the stomach channel. And you'll probably feel it on the inside of your thighs as well, so liver and kidney, spleen. Keep trying to relax. Quite often we still hold a bit of tension as we come out of these poses. It takes a while till everything kind of stretch out. And just enjoy following whatever tingliness you get through your body. It will fade soon. And just also noticing whether, if any dizziness did come around, whether it is dissipating. So when you're ready, let's bring our knees in, little gentle rock. And we'll come up for twisted deer. This is a twist. We do roll onto our hips. So right hip, I know, Rita, you might want to put a little blanket out, or even a pillow, which is a little bit more padded. Just have it under you so that it creates a bit more cushioning. And then twisted deer. Bringing your right shin to the front of you, then your left leg just tucks to the side and bends round. And we bring the bolster in to the hip, and then gently we'll turn our body, come down. To what degree you want to turn and twist is entirely up to you. You can come quite, chest down and get into the twist, or if you want to come down a bit more sideways and then alter it as you come into it, then that's fine. I like this one because it's quite a gentle twist. You almost don't feel like you're doing anything until you come out of the pose, and you do notice that you have held that little twist for a while. So starting just to relax your cheek, and as you relax your head, let the neck soften. Relaxing through your shoulders and your arms. And also the pelvis and legs, everything downwards. Gradually you can let your cheeks and your face relax. And then follow the breath. This is lovely for gallbladder, which is very linked with decisions. If you're finding it troublesome making a decision or lacking a little bit of courage, then this is a lovely pose to come into, any twist. As you settle here, you can really enjoy just following your breath and the movement of your body. And if you want to take your left leg further behind you, increase your stretch and twist, you can. And just following your thoughts. Were you in the present moment or drifting forwards or backwards in time? Let's just take one lovely deep breath here. And then coming up, nice and slowly. Keeping your bolster handy, we're going to have it the other side. But come down first into Shavasana. Just have a few moments to observe. And again, just checking in with where you feel sensation in the body and where chi is flowing. Deep belly breaths. And just observing the difference in the right and the left side, how some parts of your body will feel slightly imbalanced. So when you're ready, let's draw our knees in again. Have a nice little rock. And then we'll roll up, coming into the other side. So quite nice gentle poses this evening, nurturing on our body for an evening practice. So left shin comes to our front, right leg to the side, and then bolster into the left hip. And then just turning the belly downwards to face the block, the bolster, and just getting comfortable. If you need more padding under your hip, just another cushion or a blanket. I always find it's the head and neck that takes a little while to really let go. Let your head become heavy and release the tension that we hold through our neck. And then also relaxing the shoulders. Softening your face. Just look to see if you're holding some sort of an expression on your face. And bringing the breath to the belly. Feeling that movement up through the chest as well. Back of the body opening up. Notice your thoughts again, whether they are very repetitive thoughts that you're familiar with, or whether you have new thoughts coming through. As humans, we are so very programmed to do the things throughout our day on autopilot. Get up the same side of the bed. We have the same routine in the morning. We have the same order of all the things we do in the bathroom, then what we do for breakfast and what have you. We're just on autopilot. So having a few moments of consciousness, really following our thoughts, is refreshing. And sometimes it's nice to do something completely out of order, do it the opposite way, just to stimulate new neural pathways in our brain, keep ourselves alert. So rather than driving home the same way or doing something exactly the same way we always do, it's nice to challenge yourself to do it completely the opposite. So coming to the end of the 5 minutes, let's just take one more breath here. And slowly lifting up. And we can move our bolsters now. We don't need them. Coming down. The beauty of the quietness that we have in yin is to really tune in and observe physically our breath, but our mind and ourselves. So being curious as to why you do the things that you do in the way that you do them. Is it by choice or just decades of habitual programming? Our autonomic nervous system just runs in the background. Our breath does this all day. So becoming conscious of, even if it's 2 or 3 breaths at a time, it's just lovely to connect back in. And we can have that sense of wonderful gratitude with every single breath that we take as we follow the whole mechanics of it. So we'll bring the knees in. Gently massaging your back, little circles. And rolling up to seated. So mantis is quite a nice stretch out for the body. Then we've come into 2 twists. We're going to come into caterpillar now. So just a seated forward fold. If you want to, you can have a little blanket under the knees. This is always quite nice. If the legs are tight through the hamstrings and you want to sort of stretch a bit more through your back, it's always an option. And then partway through you can pull the blanket out if you want to. Otherwise, we'll just come into caterpillar. Let the legs relax. You might find that your feet roll outwards, starting to soften through backs of the legs, lower and upper back. And certainly the shoulders. Often we sort of pin our shoulders back. How does it feel when you let them relax and round a little? And breathing to belly. Notice how many times through this particular pose you hold the shoulders back, or you find that you're tense through your back. It's very curious how the body wants to almost correct itself and not relax. Softening through the head and neck a little bit more if you can. And this is lovely for your bladder, linked with our sacral water element. Check in around your shoulder blades. Can you let go? So witnessing your thoughts here, if the mind has wandered. How does this pose feel? Can you move further into it? Or are you exactly happy where you are? So let's just take a few more breaths here, make them lovely and conscious. Breathing into belly, feel a little bit of movement into the lower back and a nice movement in the chest and back. And side ribs expanding. And ever so slowly lifting up, we've had the head forwards again, so just being nice and gentle and careful. Let's lie back. So that forward fold, we will counterpose with bench in a moment, but just come down. And if you need to, just sort of wag your tail or rock your pelvis a few times, just to sort of find that comfortable, neutral spine. And some deep breaths as you gradually start to relax that lower back and all the muscles. Just checking in with whether you're tight through the buttocks or still tension in the upper back. So as much as we observe being in the poses and how much we can feel and let go, there's still carrying on this observation in these reset moments. So when you're ready, draw the knees in and enjoy a nice rock here, especially if you can feel some tenderness still in your lower back. There's no rush. Okay, so rolling up, we'll grab a pillow. So bench, where we just pop it behind us, a few inches away. And we get a nice gentle curve into lumbar, but it's more into our thoracic. And when you're ready, just lying back. If you need to, I often find having a little blanket in case you need it behind your neck. Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. Just depends how your neck feels that day. You might have that sort of mobility and you feel quite nice having the neck all the way back. But if you just need a small rolled hand towel, that sort of size, can be quite supportive behind the neck. And then arms wherever you want them. Try and relax your shoulders away from the ears. And some nice belly breaths that we can follow. Even if you don't feel like you need something behind the neck, you can always try it there, and if that feels better, it just takes the muscular tension out of the posture. How do you feel here? It's a lovely, nourishing pose for the end of your day. And even though it's a very mild and gentle curve to the body, it's very noticeable afterwards. Gently beneficial. So maybe just following the breath in the belly, rise and fall. These slow conscious breaths, you might notice the pause at the end and the beginning of the breath. And because we have the cushion behind the upper part of our body, it's a very supportive posture emotionally behind our heart center and also activating our throat. So we'll just take another breath, gently lifting our head and just moving whatever props you've used. Come back down. Just feel that lovely refreshing feeling. And again, just tuning into where you're feeling prana or chi possibly moving through your body. Just tuning into how you're feeling in yourself, whether you're feeling good, balanced, peaceful, calmer than you did earlier. Maybe there's a little bit more space in the mind and there's some clarity. And then gently drawing these in, we're going to come into waterfall for our last pose, which I know is among our favourites. Very nice inversion to do at the end of a practice. So grab the cushion that you've just had and then just gently roll up so that you can wedge it under the buttocks. And then coming into waterfall. If you've got a blanket handy and you'd like to, you don't have to. It's always nice on a kind of a winter's evening, but you can pop the blanket over the feet, keep them warm or keep them slightly more together. It's up to you. It's nice just to close your eyes here. Tune into your third eye, Ajna chakra at your brow. Just gaze into the void. Be open to anything that you sense. Relaxing your face. How do you feel? So a lovely one for heart, fluid. A really lovely pose just to sort of relieve any stress that you're holding. Just checking in with where your thoughts are. And then when you're ready, we'll just start to gently bend the knees, drop the feet down. Pausing here for a moment. And then you can gradually pull the cushion away, lying back down on the mat, Shavasana. It's always interesting to notice which poses it takes longer to relax afterwards, and ones where you just come down into Shavasana immediately and everything actually feels quite nice. There's not a lot of need to relax everywhere. So we'll just take a moment here before we come into relaxation just to engage the 3-part yogic breath. If you want to, you can bring one hand to belly, one hand to chest, but if you're familiar with this breath, you don't need to. So just with the eyes closed, we're going to breathe a third into the belly, a third up into the chest, and then the last part of that breath up into the collarbone, our clavicle area, and a nice slow exhale. And we'll just continue with these 3-part breaths a few more times. So belly, chest, and up to the head. Slow exhale. And again. Exhale. Nice fluid movement. And just one more. Belly, chest, head. Lovely full breath. And a slow exhale. Very calming for your nervous system. So let's come into relaxation now. If you're happy just to remain lying down exactly where you are, you can. But if you prefer to sit, just roll up. Just moving slowly. So let yourself relax. Get cozy with anything warm. And I'm just going to return to the idea that I brought up earlier of how much we run on autopilot. So just for today, just think back while you're having these few quiet moments to your day. Whether as you wake up, you do the same thing. Which foot hits the floor as you swing your legs out of bed? Do you get up immediately, or do you sit for a moment doing something? And then the next thing that you do, or going to the bathroom, do you do it in the same sequence? Are you conscious that you do it this way? And then the next part of your day, the morning, all the way up until lunch. Maybe what you have for lunch, the way you prepare it, the order in which you eat it. And then coming into your afternoon and your evening, just think about all the things, places you go, where you park, things you buy. Is it always the same? And maybe tomorrow, you could just do a few things slightly differently. How would it feel to brush your teeth with the other hand? Or to prepare your food in a slightly different way? Probably very strange, but it will bring a lot more consciousness to your day. So have a little ponder on this for a few minutes, just relaxing. Noticing where we can be more aware in our day. So as you lie there, there's no need to move just yet. Just draw your awareness to your thoughts again. Noticing what thoughts did come up based on thinking about your day. Thinking about the things that we do on autopilot. And maybe the way that we do things is the best way. The easiest, most streamlined. But perhaps just being aware and noticing that is nice. How we load the dishwasher is just the best way, perhaps. But just being conscious that they're choices. So just checking in with yourself physically. Have a little mental scan through. Observe your emotions and how quiet the mind is. Thoughtful perhaps, but not too busy. And then we can just start to gently move. Coming back into our evening very slowly. We've reduced and dropped our brain waves, so it's nice to stay in this relaxed place. Nothing too stimulating. So just wiggling fingers and toes, being aware of how that feels. Checking in with how the neck, you can roll the head. And take a few deep breaths again to enjoy that expansion of our ribs. Notice if you're reluctant to come out of rest or you're ready to. And then when you're ready, you can just have a nice stretch and hug the knees in. And rolling up to seated in your own time. There's no rush, just enjoy a nice rock on your body. Coming back into your evening. Taking a few breaths. Again, just have a moment to root down. Whenever we're seated, it's quite nice to imagine the roots extending from the tailbone down. And then we can bring our hands together. Om Shanti. Namaste.